Assalamu alaikum and welcome to our suit reviews. Today I'm going to be doing reviews on some suits that we've had actually stitched up, and I want to share some of the unstitched versus the stitched, so you can actually make comparisons of if you are buying it as an unstitched version, then what your aim is to try and get. And if you're having problems getting it stitched to that standard, then how there are ways of you can go about doing that. So generally what you saw me in the past doing was stitching most of the garments myself. I am limited on time, so what I've decided to do, obviously I can't cater for the masses, and is to offer you that service, that if you're struggling with not having the ability to sew yourself, then you can order the sewn garments through us, and you will get basically what the photos are showing, because it's very difficult to get something sewn to this standard here in the UK. So you, in order to actually get to the end result, you first need to see what you're starting off with. So with these suits, these are safinaz replicas, and whether they're originals or whether they're replicas, they come in pieces and you have to have them stitched yourself. They don't come as the sewn garment. So what we have is a suit that's unstitched, exactly the same as the one that I've had stitched. So you've got the fabric for the trouser. So this fabric we've had stitched into a trouser, and I'm gonna go and share with you as we've gone and stitched, had it stitched. Okay, so this trouser has been replicated into a sewn trouser. That's standard, not overly fitted, but a pencil type of trouser. It's not buttoned or anything, it's just a loose, but it has been zipped with an invisible zip, and also it's actually got a buckle. Now generally, even when I stitch, I don't actually apply these on. These are done by the tailors in India, very sewn to a very high standard it is. And this, you would struggle to get still something like this stitched. You would really struggle to get it done over here. I mean, even when I stitch myself, I don't put the zips on and I don't apply the hooks and so on here. But it's been elasticated, it's been fitted very nicely, and it's actually sewn pretty much to the standard that a trouser should be sewn. Okay, so that's exactly the same fabric, but a sewn version. Okay, so you've got the comparison there. So from this fabric, you want to make it something like this, and then you want to compare prices and see if it's worthwhile for you to have something like that done. The dupatta is the dupatta with these is edged, so both of these, it doesn't require anything doing with it. If it did, then the tailors would happily back home, they would actually do the edging for you as well. The dupatta, it has the two color contrasting of the suit. It's got a border, it's a beautiful peachy pink dupatta in chiffon. So the dupattas both finished. We'll compare one at a time. Now the kameez, what you've got is 2.5 yards of fabric for the kameez. It has a print for the back, and then for the front it has embroidery. Now the embroidery patches you get on an organza like this, and you would take most of the backing, if there is any backing attached on, you would take that away, and then you would apply that on to. So basically what they've done is applied that to the sleeves, and they've applied this. It's got a slightly bit different neckline, this one. These are two patches that actually attach to this. No, it hasn't got anything different, it's exactly the same. Personally, I would have used that as a neckline and that as a daman. maybe they've slightly gone and made a mistake on this. I don't know. Or maybe they've purposely done it like this. Okay, maybe there is a slight variation as well, I'm not sure. Okay, what we have, yeah, I know what they've done. If you wanted, you could attach the whole of this as a neckline. What they've done is taken away the inside of this, used that as a neckline, and then this piece they've used it on the daman. So this is what a good tailor would do. They have actually copied the picture to the letter, and they've applied so basically what you have with these suits is you've got two side pieces that go on the side of the kameez, and you've got a centerpiece which you can use as a neckline, or you can use it on the sides of the kameez. You've also got these portions. This is for the daman, and they've actually trimmed around to make it look like this. Perhaps I wouldn't use it exactly to like this, but obviously that's something that the tailors have actually copied this to the letter. Now what you've got to bear in mind is, are you able to take this much trimming, this much lace on organza, and trim away the edges and then apply it in such a way that it replicates this photo? And alhamdulillah, the tailors have done this wonderfully, and I'm going to share the kameez with you just to make you understand what the tailors have done. So if you are stitching yourself, or whether you're having these stitched by someone, you've gone and purchased the suit for £28, well, how are you going to get it stitched? That generally is the question. Are you willing to pay an extra £25–30 to get it stitched, or are you going to attempt it yourself? Either way, you can have the solution here at Jan Sewing Solutions. I do provide the solution of how to go about stitching this to your size, or we have the alternative of you paying for the service and getting these stitched by qualified tailors. So what the tailors have done is applied the lace with a proper embroidery stitching all the way on the back, and if you looked at this, you wouldn't actually be able to tell. It's been applied in such a delicate and such a beautiful way that it actually looks like it's all embroidery done on the fabric. So that's this is the back of the kameez. So this is the imprint, and then what we've had done is we've had the bottom of the kameez, we've added cotton. They've added cotton extension. They've done piping in contrasting color all the way through, and the embroidery, like I mentioned, they've copied the picture, and they've actually applied the embroidery on so that it looks like it's part of the work. Generally here in the UK, that's one of the biggest problems. Buying the suits is very easy. Getting them sewn to this standard is very, very hard. So this was a suit that we've had stitched, neckline, all piped in a contrasting peach color, finished off very nicely, all hand done tarpai and so on. And you know what, I think they've done a really good job, and if you want to trial out our sewing, then I would highly recommend getting a suit stitched. And then if you find any little flaws, perhaps any problems with fitting and so on, then that you can overcome, and you can you know, point it out, and perhaps the next time they can look into that and actually eliminate that problem. I think with any tailoring, you need the initial trial period where you need to try someone out and see just how good a job they can do. Now, funnily enough, this suit has been sewn for a classmate of mine, and her dad has been tailoring for the last, I don't know, 30–40 years. So he's a proper tailor, and when I talked to her, I said, I want you to take this to your dad, and I asked her to pinpoint any faults that she could see. She couldn't find any flaws in it. Obviously trying is the next step. She's going to you know, obviously try it and to see how good a fitting it is. but I've requested for her dad to overview this and to see if he can find any faults. Hopefully I will, inshallah, I will share those findings with you, and then perhaps if you want to trial out, you can be reassured, and you can trial out the sewing side. My number one option for all, here, when I put the fabric with the sewn one, my number one recommendation for every viewer is to actually do your own stitching. I don't recommend getting your stitching done, but then if there's no way around that, and you haven't got the time, or you haven't got the patience or the skill to actually carry out tailoring like this, then you will have to, I'm afraid, if you want tailoring like this, you're going to have to pay for it. If you want your fabric ruined and then complain about it, then by all means give it to the auntie down the road, and so be it. Maybe you've got a good tailor and you've been using them for years. Maybe they've done justice to your clothing, and maybe like the vast majority of complaints, you've had complaints. So whatever's the case, there's only one way to really take an alternative route, is to try out someone else and give them a chance and see how far you get. But if you get disappointed on the first go, don't make it the final disappointment, because sometimes you have to try something out and point out the faults to the maker and to redo certain things to overcome, obviously you probably have one idea, the machinist or the sewer has some more ideas, and then obviously they're human beings, they're going to make mistakes. So give them the benefit of the doubt and see how far it gets. I'm going to be sharing, today's videos are going to be on quite a few sewn suits, so I'm going to be sharing a few more of the sewn ones with you, so that you can put your mind at peace and then try out.